just wanted to do another quick Summoner's War video. Today we're going to be discussing Shannon and should you 6-star Shannon and why or why not, because there's a lot of mixed opinions on this, but as always, first we're going to check the chat room, see if there's any hot ladies in here. Ooh, schizophrenic. I don't know who that is. Merlin sounded like a hot girl, but there's no picture. Wooey. Okay, nobody in here. So in that case, we're going to get right into it. And as right off the bat, you can see that I have 6-starred my Shannon. A lot of players, I'd say at least 50% of the players out there will tell you to not 6-star Shannon. They'll tell you that, you just put good runes on her, she's not worth 6-star. Well, I'm here to contend that answer, and I'm going to tell you why. So on the bottom left corner here, I've showed a chart here with the stat increase that you will get by buffing your Shannon from level 35 to 40. First one you can see HP. I already did the math. That is about, I believe, a 2,600 point increase. Shannon is very squishy, and that HP helps a lot. She's still going to be very squishy, but where the real buff comes in is actually the defense buff. You go from a whopping minimalist 412 defense, very squishy defense, to a ginormous 560 defense, which, by the way, is even higher than Amin. It's a fairly decent defense. Okay, what is that, 560? What's Brig got over here? That's equivalent to a 4-star light pirate. We're talking about a 4-star, a Nat 4 Mon versus a Nat 2 Mon. That's pretty buff defense. Okay, mind you, this guy's an attacker, but she's support. Support's not known for buff defense generally either. So, a friggin' Nat 2. Think about that for a minute, okay? That's a lot of defense for Shannon here. Her speed goes up +1. Yeah, not the greatest, and that's just from the Awakened. Her attack also, she's actually pretty buff attack-wise. Her base attack, she's pretty strong. She's, that doesn't benefit you too much, but it's a nice little bonus, okay? In the case of Shannon, it's a free bonus. Again, beats Amin. What's Brig got here? 790. Okay, Brig's pretty buff, but 604 is buff, okay? That's buff balls. What's Lumi got? 725. Dang, she's pretty buff too. That wasn't Lumi, that was Tyron. Okay, so she's way above Lumi. And Lumi's a Nat 4. No small feat. What's that defense increase there? 412 to 560, but 150 points. You tell me if that's worth 6-star. And I think it is, and I'll go into more detail later. The attack increase is almost 200. It's about 150 points again. So it's an equal 150 for each, roughly, right? Give or take. Not bad. So why else is it important to 6-star Shannon? Why? So here's one thing that you gotta realize. A lot of the players that say not to 6-star Shannon are players that already have a million kajillion buff balls runes. They've already got runes so buff, they've been farming runes, friggin' giant speed 10. They've probably been farming that for a year straight. Maybe more. These are the guys that can go without 6-starring her. But for, mid-game, new range, mid-range, mid to late game players like myself, look at my mons here, okay? By 6-starring Shannon, it's enabled me to do things that I couldn't do, important things, aka Giant Speed 10, one of the most important things in the game. Without 6-starring her, I was not able to do it. And you know what? I also don't have buff balls runes for all my mons. I need to farm runes. I need to be able to do Giant Speed 10 to get to the later stages in the game. I can't even ruin my guys here. Look at me. I don't even have runes on Galleon. I don't even have runes on Theomars yet. Mind you, I've been farming runes. I just haven't had time to put them on these guys yet. But even, all of these guys are missing runes. Even my Bernard, my Jojo. I'd love to rune up my Jojo. Even with the runes that I've accumulated since I have been farming Giant Speed 10, I still don't have enough. But Shannon here has enabled me to do that. And here's the other good thing about Shannon. The next part of this equation is, other than Giant Speed 10, Shannon is all-round good for everything. She's a TOA god, okay, for new mid-range to mid to late game range players. We're not talking late game, guys. Late game, okay? But she's used in everything, okay? Absolutely everything, including TOA. And she can also be used effectively, very effectively, in guild battles. She's very underutilized for guild battles. Now, she does lack in one department, which is, if you put her on guild battle defense, you're a buck-futtering moron, because she's not good at defense. She can be easily countered. She's very squishy. It's just not a good idea. Do not put her on defense. So the next stage I'm going to talk about is how to ruin your Shannon. How to ruin your Shannon. I have put in Swift focus runes on my Shannon. I'm a Swift focus guy. I like her to have speed, and more speed so that she can dish out speed debuffs after speed debuff after speed debuff, and while simultaneously buffing my own team. Okay, allowing my team to survive. That defense buff increase is huge. And the attack increase is huge as well. I mean, she's an overall beast. Some people like Despair Focus, because they look at it similarly, that she's effectively eliminating the amount of mons that you have to fight. She's lowering the mob count, which is great. Some people like Despair Shannon. I don't like Despair Shannon. I want the speed increase, okay? I'm definitely, and especially on bosses, you can't despair bosses anyway. You can't stun a boss. So I think overall effectivity would go to a speed-based Shannon. Get her as high speed as you can. Mine's not super fast right now, but I don't have godly runes. But go for accuracy. Get the accuracy as close to 100% as you can get. I have 76%. I would love to have 85 plus. 90 plus would be even better. So here's the other thing. A lot of people will say throw maybe Swift energy, Despair energy. No, do not do that. HP is great. I happen to have some good runes that do give me a lot of HP, but here's the thing. Shannon is a very squishy mon. HP isn't necessarily the best thing to give her. Her base HP is low. What would actually be better would be to focus on defense-based substats. She has a very high base level defense. It would be relatively easy to give her a very high defense rate. You know, look at Belladon over here. His base defense is 681. He's a defense type mon, but yeah, you're not going to be able to get it up as high as I got over here, plus 1100, but you could buff her up. You could get that defense really high, and that would actually help her more in survivability when there's no defense break, such as Giant Speed 10, than it would be giving her HP. That is a fact. You heard it here first. Don't be buffing up the HP like some people say. Focus on defense if you can. It'll get you much further. So why is Shannon so good overall? Let's quickly touch on it. Boom. Attack increase, defense increase, all allies, survivability plus attack power. Great. Last 3 turns, it's massive. The speed debuff is massive. Absolutely essential. And here's the kicker. The icing on the cake is her Spirit Ball basic attack, allowing you to put a glancing hit on your opponent, such as a boss, for 2 turns. Not just 1 turn, 2 turns. It's got a pretty high success rate. All of her abilities, in fact, have a high success rate. I mean, she's just overall. She's a beast. So, should you 6-star her? Yes, you should. Even if you're a late game player, I think she's worth it. She gets an interesting rep in that some players see her as a god, and some players see her as only a demigod, per se. And I think she's a god. She's worth every penny. Please like, subscribe, see you later.